Gothic Revival style of architecture emerged in the 18th century in Europe as a reaction to the Baroque and Rococo styles. This was a time when architects were looking for new ways to express themselves, and the Gothic style came to be seen as a way to reconnect with the past. The Gothic Revival style is characterized by its use of pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and intricate tracery. In this article, we will explore the history and style of Gothic Revival architecture, its key features, and notable examples of buildings around the world. The Gothic Revival style of architecture originated in the mid-18th century in England. The movement was inspired by medieval Gothic architecture, which was characterized by pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and ornate stone carving. Gothic architecture was widely used in Europe during the Middle Ages, but fell out of favor during the Renaissance, when classical styles became popular. The revival of Gothic architecture was partly inspired by a renewed interest in medieval history and culture, particularly in Britain. This interest was fueled by writers such as Sir Walter Scott, who wrote historical novels set in the Middle Ages, and the Gothic horror stories of Edgar Allan Poe. The architecture of the Middle Ages came to be seen as a symbol of a simpler, more virtuous time, and as a result, it was seen as a way to combat the perceived excesses of the Baroque and Rococo styles. One of the earliest examples of Gothic Revival architecture is Horace Walpole's Strawberry Hill House, near London, which was built between 1749 and 1777. Walpole was a writer and politician who was inspired by medieval Gothic architecture, and he designed his house to look like a medieval castle. The house features pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and a Gothic-style facade, complete with turrets and battlements. In the 19th century, the Gothic Revival style of architecture became more popular, particularly in Britain and the United States. This was partly due to the influence of the Romantic movement, which celebrated the individual, the emotional, and the mystical. The Gothic Revival style was seen as a way to express these ideals, and it was used to create buildings that were grand, imposing, and awe-inspiring. The Gothic Revival style was also popularized by the work of architects such as Augustus Pugin and John Ruskin. Pugin was a British architect who was deeply committed to the Gothic Revival style, and he wrote extensively about the importance of Gothic architecture in his book Contrasts, 1836. Ruskin was a British art critic and writer who championed the Gothic Revival style, and he wrote extensively about the importance of craftsmanship in architecture. In the United States, Gothic Revival architecture became popular in the mid-19th century, particularly in the Northeast. The style was often used for churches and academic buildings, and it was seen as a way to create buildings that were both grand and awe-inspiring. One of the most notable examples of Gothic Revival architecture in the United States is the Trinity Church in Boston, which was designed by Henry Hobson Richardson and built between 1872 and 1877. The church features pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and a Gothic-style facade, complete with towers and gargoyles. In Europe, Gothic Revival architecture continued to be popular in the 19th century, particularly in France and Germany. In France, the style was used for a range of buildings, including churches, castles, and public buildings. One of the most notable examples of Gothic Revival architecture in France is the Palace of Westminster, which was rebuilt in the Gothic Revival style between 1840 and 1870. In Germany, the style was used for academic buildings and churches, and it was often combined with other elements, such as Renaissance and Baroque styles. The Gothic Revival style of architecture is characterized by its use of pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and intricate tracery. Other key features include 1. Flying buttresses are structures that support the walls of a building from the outside. They are often used in Gothic Revival architecture to add stability to the building and to create a sense of height and grandeur. 2. Rose windows are circular windows with intricate tracery. They are often used in Gothic Revival architecture to create a focal point for the building and to allow light into the interior. 3. Gargoyles are decorative features that are often used in Gothic Revival architecture to add a sense of drama and fantasy to the building. They are often carved in the shape of animals or mythical creatures. 4. Turrets and battlements are features that are often used in Gothic Revival architecture to create a sense of grandeur and to add a defensive element to the building. They are often used on the facade of the building, and they can be either decorative or functional. 5. Ornate stone carving is a key feature of Gothic Revival architecture. It is often used to create intricate patterns and designs on the facade of the building, and it is often used to create a sense of depth and texture. Notable examples of Gothic Revival buildings include 1. The Palace of Westminster, also known as the Houses of Parliament, is one of the most notable examples of Gothic Revival architecture in the world. It was designed by Charles Barry and Augustus Pugin, and it was rebuilt in the Gothic Revival style between 1840 and 1870. 2. Notre Dame de Paris. Notre Dame de Paris is a medieval cathedral in Paris, France, that was completed in 1345. It is one of the most famous examples of Gothic architecture in the world, and it has been a symbol of French architecture and culture for centuries. 3. Trinity Church. Trinity Church is a Gothic Revival church in Boston, Massachusetts, that was designed by Henry Hobson Richardson and built between 1872 and 1877. It features pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and a Gothic-style facade, complete with towers and gargoyles. 4. Ulm Minster. Ulm Minster is a Gothic cathedral in Ulm, Germany, that was completed in 1890. It is the tallest church in the world, and it features pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and intricate tracery. 5. St. Pancras Station. St. Pancras Station is a Victorian railway station in London, England, that was completed in 1868. It was designed by William Barlow and features a Gothic Revival facade, complete with turrets and battlements. The Gothic Revival style of architecture is a fascinating and influential movement that has lasted for centuries. Its use of pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and intricate tracery has inspired architects around the world, and its grand and awe-inspiring buildings continue to capture our imaginations today. Whether they are castles, churches, or public buildings, Gothic Revival buildings are a testament to the enduring power of architecture to inspire and delight us. Be sure to like this video and click to subscribe to see more content.